Bob, oil moved dramatically today off a pretty low base. Stocks moved modestly. I guess this is more about what are we set up for given the run that stocks have been on. We're pretty near all-time highs on the S&P.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, the market action more broadly is reasonably muted because I think there's a lot of questions here about how far this will go, whether it'll be, a tit for tat and then wrap up the way we've seen in previous instances, or whether this is going to be a more extended conflict in the Middle East. I think the thing that it highlights for most investors is that they're pretty unprepared for a war-like environment, right? Most investors holding 60-40 looked at the screens today and they saw both their stocks and their bonds selling off, with really the only asset providing true diversification in this moment was gold.
Gold. You're like Rumpelstiltskin, only, without the hair obsession. You have good hair already. So what is it about commodities in these war-like times that investors should pay attention to?
Well, I think it's really a twofold issue. One, of course, anytime you're engaged in a conflict with an oil-producing country, there's the question about whether those assets will get hit. And there's some ambiguity so far. There's no indication that those meaningful production facilities are being hit, but there's been some rhetoric late in the afternoon that suggests that maybe the opening up of conflict associated or targeting oil production facilities, given the retaliation of non-military targets that were hit in Israel. And so that's a real question there. The second, probably bigger issue, if you're sitting in the U.S. Economy, is that rise in oil prices combined with the fact that we got a reaffirmation of 55% tariffs from China. That adds up to a pretty concerning picture on the inflation side as the Fed meets next week and pencils out its monetary policy through the rest of the year. It's going to be a lot harder for them to deliver the sort of cuts that many people expect in an environment of rising oil prices and elevated tariffs for longer.